Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, good people. Back live, Sports Talks for the Culture, live from the ranch. How you doing?
What's happening?
What's happening, everybody? We got Mr. Andre Hayes back on the scene, crispy and clean.
Dre.
Yes, sir. What's up?
What's happening?
Go-to guy. I got some Ben questions for him, but we'll get to that a little bit later. You know how we do here. How's it going, fellas?
Hanging, man. You know, a lot going on right now in the sports world. Looking forward to getting into it.
Things are getting tight. They're heating up. Right? People about to go home and sit and watch the games.
That's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it because, Duke, everybody knows from following the show, Sports Talk Live for the Culture, that Duke is Steeler Nation. So we got some talk about that. But the pressure is solely on this man right here. The pressure is on this man right here. $84 million guaranteed. Kirk Cousins. I mean,
do you need to say any more? $84 million guaranteed.
And you got a game at home.
History tells us he won't get it done.
You got a game at home to get in. To get in. If you get in, you're going to most likely play a division rival. So there's familiarity. So what do you guys think? Is Kirk Cousins built for this? The Vikings paid him like he was built for this. There's been a lot of things that have gone on with the Vikings. They fired Filippo, who was instrumental in with Carson Wentz last year, and they got rid of him because the head coach. Look, I got a defense, run the football. He didn't want to run the football, so he ran himself out of a job by not running. So what do you guys think? Can Kirk get it done? Is it Kirk time? You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins.
I think to me the question is more: does Chicago want to play Kirk Cousins in the first round of the playoffs? Do they want to play Nick Foles?
Saint Nick, the man, the myth, the legend. We're gonna jump into him too.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the. To me, that's the. I don't think Kirk Cousins getting it done.
I think that's the beauty of sports, man. You know, it's like the MO on Kirk Cousins is he can't win the big one. He can't get it done, but he can change that perception in the next couple of weeks.
True indeed.
You know, he wins this week, and then now he would have to. That means they would have to go and travel to Chicago,
Right.
and get another win. He does that in the next 2 weeks. Now the whole perception of Kirk Cousins changes, and that can only happen in sports. That's the beauty of sports. But like Doug said, history says, you're betting against him, and it really matters whether. You know, how much of an effort Chicago is going to give, and that's going to be a big question.
And I agree with it also. Can he get it done? Oh, absolutely. When you start talking about percentages, this is not one I'm going to put my money on. However, like we all agree, if Chicago decides that they're coming full blast, then that could change everything. If they decide not to, then, you might want to put a couple dollars on it.
Making those bets.
Yeah.
Shout out to Don King. What's up, Don? Checking out Cowboys Nation.
What's up, brother?
I think this is just one of those moments in sports, and that's why we watch sports. We watch sports for the opportunity to change a narrative. Like one play, if you go back to Buckner, that can change the narrative of your whole career. Like, a gamer on bad knees, everything you want in a teammate. But one ball goes between the wickets, and his narrative is forever changed.
Pretty much.
For the old heads out there, Jackie Smith, tight end for the Dallas Cowboys back in the day. Great tight end. When a tight end was catching 25-yard passes, back in the day. All Jackie Smith is known for is that drop ball, in the end zone. Super Bowl 13.
Shame.
So, and the thing is, and the beauty about sports, it can change your narrative. It can change everything about you. He's going to get the opportunity to show and prove. At home, you got to bring this in. You playing a Bears team that's kind of motivated, but not. So this is what, if you are betting on yourself, you got to get it done. So it'd have been no reason to give this man that type of money if he can't deliver in this situation. You got him to deliver. You got him to say, hey, we got a defense, we can run, but we may meet up with one of these quarterbacks that can just do it. And we need to have a quarterback on our end that can just keep us in the float and do it as well. And this is one of those opportunities.
You made it to the NFC Championship with Case Keenum. And I know it's a year-to-year thing, but fans are irrational, and their perception, will change depending on the circumstance. But the black, just looking at it in black and white, they're going to say, hey, we went to the NFC Championship last year with, a marginal quarterback.
Yeah.
And now we pay this guy, guaranteed $84 million. At minimum, I'm looking to get to the NFC Championship again.
That's where I was
but we really want to get to the Super Bowl. Let's not kid ourselves. We got him to take the next step. So if he get the bare minimum, he can't even get in the playoffs. My goodness, the backlash is going to just be ridiculous.
Well, you got him to be able to make a throw. Like, you going against Breeze, or you going against Rodgers, or you going against not even Stafford because he really hasn't done it. But you want to be in that moment where he made a throw. Like, he dropped a dime. He just made a play that got us over the hump. It was, the guy was double covered. The ball shouldn't have gone there, but he made a play that put points on the board that won the game. That's what they're trying to. That's what they got him for to do, and we have to wait and see if he can do that.
If you
Shout
don't
out to
do
Coach
it,
Charles Thompson,
it's
Chester
going to be a
Panthers.
refund they're going to be looking for.
Yeah, I think too many times people look at the box scores after the game and they say, "Oh man, Kirk Cousins had 350 yards," and
terrible. We gotta watch the game.
But for the first 2 quarters, when they had a chance to take a hold of the game or stay in the game, he did nothing. And then when fourth quarter comes and the team's playing this soft shell defense,
exactly,
he piles up his yards and his stats. So then you look back and say, well, it wasn't his fault, but most of the time, man, these guys, man, this is getting out of hand.
The case in point, the Seattle game, dangerous. Russell Wilson had a terrible interception, only threw for 72 yards, but he made a play.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins had
72 yards.
Kirk Cousins statistically had a much better game because they were that last drive. They just let him come down and was shut out. But if you didn't watch the game, Kirk Cousins didn't do anything. He didn't do anything, and his offensive coordinator didn't help him by not running and grinding that rock.
Right.
But this is going to be interesting. That's going to be one of the must-see TV. They got everything at 4 o'clock, 4:25, so nobody can take off. Everybody can see. But around this time of year, and we talked about that last week, Nick Foles. Saint Nick, 471 yards, 4 touchdowns, a last-second drive to win the game on a field goal. As the man told Prince in Purple Rain, Mars is pressuring you, baby. You know what I mean?
Hey.
You know what I mean? But here's my take on it. Here's my take on this. And the thing about Nick Foles is the total Philadelphia story, the underdog, everything coming out. When Nick Foles gets in, it's a lost cause. The pressure is down. They're not expecting much. Last year, he made the run for the Super Bowl. He gets in again. These 3 games, nobody's really expecting him at LA. You gotta play Houston here, and then you can probably beat the Redskins. They're banged up. But when Foles gets in the mix, not to take anything away from Foles, tremendous. You won the Super Bowl. You outgunned the GOAT. The expectations are not the same with Wentz. I think coming into the season, Wentz's expectations was, well, we won the Super Bowl with our backup, so this is going to be 14-2, 15-1. Are we going to set a record for most points scored? Or we're going to go undefeated? I mean, we got our starting quarterback. He's the golden child. If we won with the backup, now we got our starting quarterback. It should be about, at least 12 300-yard games and 3 touchdowns and a passer rating of 142. And, and that should lead us. But that's not the case. I think Wentz plays with a much more pressure after the guy, your backup, wins the Super Bowl and they got a statue of him in front of the stadium. And what do you guys think about that? The different ways they come in. Not to take anything from Nick Foles, but just the difference they have, the expectations and how they have to live up to them.
I think it has grown ever since Nick, obviously he went on to win the Super Bowl. Now the pressure on Wentz has increased exponentially. Yeah. I mean, he had the tag of the franchise quarterback. This is going to be our guy for the next 10 years in a city that's starving for success. He had that from the beginning, no question about it. Nick, came in with nothing to lose, and he seemed like a guy that kind of played like it, and sort of embraced it. Now he's playing with, the cliche house money at this point. It's like, he's just out there wheeling and dealing at this point. And it's like, I can do no wrong. So I think that pressure is real. I think it's there, and it's something that Wentz is just he's gonna have to live with it. It's not apparently it doesn't seem like it's gonna go away this year. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. I mean, if they get in, there's a chance that Wentz comes back.
And narrative change overnight. They can lose to the Redskins, and this whole thing is dead.
Right? Like, exactly. And don't let him look bad, and then and then we'll, the fan base will turn on him in a heartbeat.
They're right there now.
But yeah, the pressure is real, and Wentz, he's in a precarious situation, and but it comes with the territory.
I think, this city alone, the city of Philadelphia alone, it's automatic pressure. Once you, forget about whoever won what. Soon as they won, they want you to perform, and they want to win, regardless of who did what prior. But we can say, like Dre said, the Heat definitely got turned up because of what happened last year. Mm-hmm. All right, and we can all say, what has Wentz ever won here? Mm-hmm. Has he ever won anything? He hasn't. They won a Super Bowl without him. All right, so you didn't win, and the guy who's playing now, who replaced you, won. So the heat is definitely on for prior years to come. Is it fair? Maybe. Because you've been replaced for, because you were hurt both years. But this man came in and the team just looks totally different. It seems to be flowing, and
they believe.
they didn't rally behind this guy, and I think is all because they got a taste. They got that taste last year, and it's something going on right now when this guy is under center, and they rallying and they believe, and we're about to find out what's going on now. The narrative can change all tomorrow again when they go to DC and they lose. Now, does Wentz want that? We don't know.
But to be one of his boys,
but
he's just sitting there.
I think
the pressure's on, baby.
I think it's funny, man, just to think about it. How this, if this was a movie, we'd be walking out like, man, there's no way in the world. Part 2 played out the same way as part 1.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Eagles, they were rolling, and to give it to Wentz, he was the MVP of the league. Quote unquote, the front runner when he got hurt.
No doubt.
And the Eagles look good. I know all of my friends, we non-Eagle fans, when we were together without the Eagle fans, we were basically like, man, what are we going to do when they win the Super Bowl?
Right.
That chip is gone. Like, you can't say that no more. But when Wentz went down, it was almost like, rejoice. There's no way they winning the Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Right.
Guys were doing memes and stuff like that.
And then they won it, right? Then they won it. And they took on this underdog mentality, us against the world. Nobody thought they could do it, which rightfully so. Nobody thought they could do it. It was a lie, it was a joke, and they did it. And now you fast forward to this year where Foles is actually the starter. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't remember that Foles started the year.
Yeah.
And he played okay, but he wasn't playing like he's playing now. But it
was in money time.
Foles
is like, look, but Foles is like, when does it get desperate?
Right.
And it's like, they're the Super Bowl champs who had the bullseye on their back all season long because they're the champs, right? And their quarterback goes down again, and this guy slides right back into the same role, and everybody's saying, hey, they're going to L.A. They can't win out there. Their season will be done as soon as they lose to the Rams.
Keep talking.
And then they jump right back into their underdog move. They pull out the dog mask and they jump right back into their underdog move. And when you say something happened with the team, I think that's what happened with the team. Somebody made a point a few weeks ago that it's a testament to the Patriots that they can stay on top and never get fat and happy with all the winning. And you never know how it affects new teams. Like you said, every team that was in that Final Four is in the dumps, and Nick Foles just brought the Eagles back from those dumps, right? So these guys were like the underdogs and back in their comfort zone,
exactly playing
and now they're running around making plays because nobody thinks we can do it. Our D-backs suck, just like the Jason Kelsey speech last year. Our D-backs are all hurt.
Yeah.
Jason Peters in and out the lineup.
Yeah.
Foles he was one year wonder. You know what I mean? Now they're back in their mode of let's go prove everybody wrong, and it's like a bad movie, a bad football version of Major League, Major League 2. But it's a true story, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go down. And I think if they get in the playoffs, the NFC is wide open.
It's wide open.
It is wide open.
And I think what happens with Nick Foles, I mean, when you said something about comfort level, I think, and are they in a comfort zone with the players? Yeah, they believe in him, and I think it's something about Doug Peterson that is different when you have Nick Foles, or put it this way, they are so much in tune with one another that Nick Foles delivers exactly the way Doug Peterson wants his offense to be run, and you see some success.
And I think he takes some shots downfield.
Right.
Alshon Jeffrey,
and he takes what the D gives him to a certain extent too. He'll do the little West Coast dink and dunk too until something opens up, and he gets the ball out of his hands very quickly. And that's what Doug Peterson is sort of built on. Those are the principles he's built on, and I think it shines through this guy. I had
a conversation with somebody a couple days ago about it looks like the offensive line is totally revamped and different because Foles is not getting the heat that Wentz got.
Yeah, Wilscomb's healthy. 65, he's healthy.
But my point in that was, and it goes back to all the quarterbacks. Michael Vick, remember when he was in, and they used to say, "Oh, they're not blocking for." Like maybe Foles is getting rid of the ball, not trying to make the big play on every play.
Just get the ball out.
Yeah, he's getting the ball out of his hands. You know what I mean? So now the line doesn't have to block as long as they, or maybe Foles is recognizing the blitzes that Wentz isn't, and he's adjusting the blocking.
I was going
to pick that up.
Right, I was going to go right to that. I mean, how old is Foles? 30, right? So he's a veteran. So veterans seen some things, whether there's blitzes, certain packages, whatever, and it's more patience involved, right? Because where is he running to?
Nowhere.
He's not running anywhere, right?
No.
So he's going. He has no choice but to be patient when he drops back. So whether that's first read, second read, third read, he's not going to run. So all that energy is waiting for receivers to go where they need to go. Now the young guy as a quarterback might drop back, and a defensive end might get close, not close enough to sack him, but to him that means panic time. I'm out, and I have legs.
Yeah,
it's time to run. So that's just, I think those two quarterbacks, they're two different type of guys, and I think Foles, being that he's a veteran and has seen more, we see it right now.
And even to that point, Foles is going to take that little dump and take that 2 or 3 yard gain, hope you break a tackle.
Yeah.
Where Wentz might hold the ball and think, a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
Alshon Jeffrey's about to break open. But
I mean, he's been going to my man Brooke Witten's record. He was really leaning on tight end Ertz. Yeah, a lot. Like he was like, look, where's Ertz? I mean, he the confidence was there, but also I think the other point is, I mean, Foles could be this generation's Jim Plunkett. A guy, Heisman Trophy winner, that was terrible in other situations, got with the Raiders, the right team, and got 2 chips. And is like Terry Bradshaw keeps saying, he's HOF. Like Plunkett needs to be considered to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he could be that. Young folks Google Jim Plunkett.
Hey, also to your one more time to your point, Dre, about Doug Peterson. He made a comment. If you remember when they lost to the Panthers several weeks ago, he made a comment that the pressure's off. Maybe he feels pressure. And then with Nick Foles in there, he knows it's not the same amount of pressure, so he even coaches and calls the game differently.
Right.
Because I remember it being a big thing when he said, "Well, now the pressure's off." Yeah. But that was only like when they lost to Carolina, week 8, something like that, week 9, and it's like the pressure's off. And why would I never heard a head coach make that statement that the pressure's off? The pressure's never off.
I think he was talking to his team, but he knows the pressure ain't on him. I mean, pressure ain't off him.
Especially in this city.
I think he was more or less saying like, we're the Super Bowl champs. Now we're feeling this pressure to go out and repeat. You know what I mean? And now we just blew a 17-point lead to Carolina. Okay, the pressure's off because we're not repeating. We're not who we were
last year.
And then now with Wentz out of there and Foles in, him as the play caller, the pressure is off. Like you said, now, it's all house money.
Right.
We lose, hey, our franchise quarterback went down.
We made a run of defense. We had injuries last year. We did the injury thing this year. We couldn't. I mean, it goes back and forth. So, yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. We'll be at the ranch. Anybody want to come on down tomorrow? We'll have all 3 TVs, 4 o'clock. We'll be here with all 3, 4, 25 games.
They bring your overnight bag because you're going to sleep.
Yeah, we'll be here live at the ranch tomorrow for that critical action. Come on down. The Colts. The Colts started 1-5, and now they are in a situation win and I'm in. Defense has gotten better. They shut out the Cowboys. What you guys take on the Colts if they get in?
I'm a believer.
If they get in, are they the team that nobody wants to see? Like, I don't want to see them, because they're playing defense. They're trying to run the ball. The quarterback luck seems to be back on his bearings. And Wright, who was essential in Philadelphia's success last year, and a lot of people believe they miss him immensely from setting up their game plans and things like that, putting the game together. What do you think about the Colts if they get in?
Let's see. Shout out to the Indianapolis Colts for making a smart business decision by shutting him down, 2-3 years ago? The shoulder's not right. The fans are not going to like us. Everybody's going to hate us. But our franchise needs to be healthy if we're going to win anything, right?
Yeah.
So we got to give them props for that. Like Doug was saying, he's a believer. I'm a believer. If you hot, when have we seen teams look subpar and all of a sudden they go on this spectacular run, everybody's clicking, and they get to where they're supposed to be? Case in point, the Eagles. I've seen my Steelers do that before. So, teams have done that in any sport. When you start clicking at that right time, this is that time, you got a chance to win. Now, do I think that they're going to do it? No, because we go back to this fear factor sometime. When you're playing decent football on both sides of the ball, there's a few teams out there that's doing that. Something has to scare you, whether you got a great defense or a great offense. They might scare somebody with Luck being hot right now, but are you going to be scared of their defense going up in hostile territory? Like, these guys, they not giving up many points, and I don't think that teams are really fearing what they do, and I think we know who those teams are. So I don't think that they are going to necessarily make it there. Are they going to make it interesting? Yeah, because they hot right now. But Super Bowl,
they may call somebody something. You tussling with them may not have you ready for next week.
Exactly. Or you better come ready to play.
I'm not going to dismiss the Tennessee Titans. So Indy has to take care of business against the Titans. So it's in a classic, winner gets in scenario.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'll give them the nod this week because I'll go with the quarterback. When it comes down to it, I'll go with the quarterback, the proven guy, and Luck is legit, and so he gives them a chance. And once you get in, I think, the thing that scares you is the fact that, they do have a proven thrower that can get it done. And, T.Y. Hilton is probably provided that he's healthy. I think, that'll be offensively, that'll strike some fear in some people. Yeah. And perhaps, and I've seen it before, they're with the way they run the offense, a little more conservative. Maybe that can be their part of their defensive strategy. Hey, if we can ball control, keep the ball, Andrew Luck is, smart with the ball. Maybe our D doesn't have to be on, 80 snaps.
Frank Wright did it last year.
Maybe our D is on, for 50, 60 snaps, and then we have a chance. So I think they have the formula right now. They got the quarterback and they're hot. So it's that has proven to be a good formula, but they got a long road starting Sunday night, and I'm not just gonna totally dismiss the Titans because
remember the Titans. Remember them. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Right.
99-yard touchdown run made me sick.
Jeez.
Only Tony Dorsett did it with 10 guys on the field. Though. Remember that.
Last time I checked, if you take a guy's legs out, he can't run.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I don't know what they were doing. That was that new wave.
Arm wrestling, man. Arm wrestling.
I think the Colts, for me, they could just. The reason why I'm a believer is because they seems like they can play every game. They can run the ball if they just want to. You want to play that game, run the ball control. If what like we said about Kirk Cousins, if you get into one of these Kansas City, Pittsburgh, New England games, and the other quarterback is on fire, well, they got a guy that can match that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they got a big play weapon outside. T.Y. Hilton doesn't get the pub with some of these other guys, but he can go get it. He can go get it, right? And they got a tight end and they got a running back. He was out, that 1-5 start. Their running back, I think he missed maybe the first 6 games, something like that, with a hamstring injury. So, and then they got some young guys that are stepping up and making plays. That defense is mostly built with young guys. And so, now what you say with the Achilles heel, the fact that they do have a bunch of young guys that never been there. Now that could, you never know what they're going to do in the playoffs. We saw that last year with the Saints with the young guy making that mistake at the end of the game. But I just feel like, man, they could play any game. And right now in the AFC, nobody scares me. Like I thought Pittsburgh was that team that could
nice
offense and defensively.
Nice segue.
With the Chiefs and these top teams, the Patriots, they don't scare me as like they used to.
Something happened, age, father time, whatever.
I'm a believer in the Colts if they get in.
Yeah, definitely. I like to see him. And Doug brought up the Steelers, and we all know Duke is Steelers.
We get some shout-outs before we continue. We got Mr. Don D, the Cowboy faithful. How you doing?
How's it going, Cowboy
we can't really listen to your words when speaking about the Eagles because you're a Cowboys fan, so we're going to hold off on that for a minute, all right? But Miss Blackstone, how are you? Shelley, tuning in. And Mr. McKinley Horton, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in.
Cool. Good. Definitely. Steeler Nation. Now, admittedly, my pick for this year's Super Bowl was a rematch. It was like 1979 again, going to the 80s. I had the Rams and the Steelers in a rematch of that Super Bowl. And man, the Steelers are really on the outside looking in, man. They really, they outside. Like,
like I told you,
outside.
Like I told you before, and I can say this proudly about my organization. Usually, it's up to us, right?
Yeah.
We win what we gotta, we take care of business and we sit back and wait. Unfortunately, the shoe is on the other foot, and we gotta win our game, which I'm sure that we will do. But then we gotta sit back and wait for somebody to win so we can get in. I'm not really feeling that. I just don't.
That's an uncomfortable position, right?
Yeah, I just can't. I'm just not used to that. I'm usually sitting back. Are we going to get a bye this week? Are we healthy? That's my mentality. So, the pain in me says I don't care, but I care a little bit. I want Cleveland to beat Baltimore, and I want us to win, and I want us to get in.
Right?
Which can happen.
I think it's legit. This ain't the old Cleveland Browns. I think that's legitimate. I know it's a bad feeling.
It's in Baltimore, right?
It's in Baltimore. If it does not work out, is there going to be any rumblings as far as Tomlin's job at all?
That's the other conversation. But the Steelers are so.
I don't. Yeah, they're very loyal, and I'm a Tomlin guy. I really like. I root for him. I'm not a Steelers fan, obviously, but I like to see him succeed. But is there going to be any backlash, any talk of hot seat for Tomlin if they don't get it done?
Well, this is what I look at. Now, we all know the coaches can't play, and I look at you winning 6 in a row. Nobody questioned your coaching. Nobody did anything. Still have some questions when you win, right? With coaching. I didn't hear about it. So you lose to Denver, all right? You turned the ball over 4 times. Tomlin didn't have anything to do with that. So I can say that. I watch bad passes from Roethlisberger. I watch some fumbles. I do that. Tomlin didn't have anything. He doesn't call the plays. He can't catch. He doesn't run. He doesn't do it. So now you lose to the Raiders. You blow a 23-point lead at home against San Diego. Are there some problems with probably getting these guys ready. Sometimes, yeah, I do think that it is.
Been defensively. I mean, for years the secondary.
Well, they've been trying to get the defense right now, and I can say that about him. I think it's something going on because he's a defensive-minded guy. He comes from defense, so I can say that we are not aggressive in free agency, which doesn't help. So if you think that you're gonna pick up a rookie and he's gonna come in and be an all-pro, lights out, whatever in his first year, then you might be crazy. So we depend on the draft to do well. So when you do that, like I said, it's not an overnight process. It's going to take you 2 or 3 years to do that. The problem is if we have a stud on defense who decides, he is potentially going to be this all-pro, now you have to pay him. And that's what we do not do well. So you're going to keep interchanging these parts. And we know that, it's all about getting these guys to play as a unit together, and I think that's where they run. Yeah, exactly. They run to problems like that in the secondary.
Wow. So Steeler Nation.
But we'll see, man, what happens.
Steeler Nation. Here's another interesting question. The old adage, which has been they've been trying to take out of football for the last 10 years. Defense. Can a defensive team? Can one of these teams? Can they win the Super Bowl? Can they make noise? Bears, Baltimore, Dallas, defensive heavy teams. Can they make a dent? Can they do it?
They can against all the forces that the NFL can drum up and provide. They can possibly try to overcome this. It's a heck of a task, but I would like to hold out hope that you can have a special defense that come along and get it done. Is one of these teams that defense? I guess everything is relative, like none of them are, the Bears 85. Yeah, 85 but again, at the same time, you know what I mean? Like the game wasn't so much slanted against the defense as it is now. I mean, it's out of control and it's been well documented. We've talked about it. You really can't do anything. So I would like to hold out hope, yes, but it would take I would not want to have to rely on my defense to get it done, because you're only a pass interference, a bad pass interference call away from losing a lot of these games.
You might be too.
Or, you know what I mean? And so you're going to have to get something done with the offense, with your offense, with the ball in your offensive hand. Right. Because to be sitting on pins and needles, relying on a key stop when a ref could just kind of take it out of your hands at a drop of
contact,
or landing on the quarterback. So.
Or you looked at him wrong.
Yeah.
You gave the quarterback the side eye 15 yards.
Yeah, and then soon I think you were the one said the ish factor. You hit somebody too much and make you go, that's a flag. Like they're throwing a flag in a heartbeat. So I would like to hold out hope, just kind of as a fan of the game, that a team can put together a great defensive performance and make a run. But man, that would be a monumental task because the league is not going that way. And they certainly would not want that to happen. They don't want a 9-7, NFC Championship game, or worse, a 9-7 Super Bowl.
Not sexy enough.
So
I think one of these guys could get it done, and just like you said, Dre, they would have to. Before where Baltimore could score, 13 points, 14 points of the Ray Lewis Baltimore back in the early 2000s, and win a game. I just think now that number's jumped. You got 24 points. Your offense got to put up 24 points or so. And then your defense, you actually defense to hold that other team down. I think that can happen. You know what I mean? But to just think you're going to go out there and just kick field goals and play defense and win, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I don't think that's happening.
I would love to see it. Shout out to Miss Amy Bolden, another Cowboy Nation.
All right, Cowboy Nation in the building.
Thanks for tuning in.
Always good. Shout out to Coach James Peach Howard. How's it going, Coach?
And also, don't be surprised if those referees that tend to keep the flags in their pocket on those pass interference calls, and those, they tend to let the secondary guys play. Don't be surprised if they're not on those games.
Nah, there ain't no point. Nah, you're off today, buddy.
Yeah,
we're not doing that. Nah, we're not having that.
Yeah.
That is crazy. But all interesting tomorrow. NFL Sunday live from the range. You know how we do it. 3 TVs. We'll be here, catch all the action. Definitely hit it up. Let's jump into the college championship. Here we go. The Alabama Invitational, as I call it. When you come in with the 4 teams, and the biggest question I have with these 4 teams, the biggest question I have is Notre Dame real? Notre Dame has been really, when they go up against these teams on bowl games, January 1st games, top 6 power conferences, top teams, they've been smoked. And is Notre Dame ready to compete on this level? That's the question I have. Are they ready to really give Clemson a battle? Can Notre Dame do it? Is Notre Dame in the class with these teams?
Well, we got 4 teams, right? How did they do throughout the year?
They're pretty good. Pretty good. They beat Michigan early. Changed their quarterback to Ian Bolt. He's a quarterback now. They said they give some playing time, some ability, some legs, some arm talent.
Okay, so do we feel that they earned that spot at number 3?
Yeah, I think they earned. I mean, they're Notre Dame. Don't get me wrong. Notre Dame carries it. You know what I mean? They did what Notre Dame had to do to get there.
Yeah, so this is what we know about the other 3, right? Alabama, we know what they bring. We know what Clemson brings. Is there anything out on Oklahoma, or are we official? Or
they're Big 12, so you look at them Big 12.
Okay, so they can score. Okay, so it sounds like they belong, right? It sounds like they belong in the top 4. Now, do they belong in the top 2? We're gonna find out tonight.
4 o'clock.
We're gonna find out at 4 o'clock if they belong in the top 2. Because the thing about this is, it's gonna make everybody look bad if you have a blowout in any of these games. That team that was supposed to be there at 5 or 6 is going to be like, see, I told you.
Vegas is giving Alabama 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's why I called the Alabama Invitational.
Yeah.
So I don't think Oklahoma's going to be able to stop Alabama.
Yeah.
But who has, right?
Oklahoma hasn't been able to stop anybody.
Yeah, right. So they may be able to score on Alabama, but I don't see them being able to stop Alabama at all. They average giving up 40 points a game.
Yeah, plus the Big 12. The Big 12 is not about stopping anybody, right?
I see that game 52-31. Really, like
points,
seriously,
right?
Like, yeah. Notre Dame.
No Russ with the offenses coming back with a little layoff. No Russ.
Well, possible. I mean, Nick Saban. This ain't his first rodeo.
Yeah.
I think he knows what to do to get his guys ready. And I think if it impacts anybody, it'll impact Oklahoma. But I think Oklahoma will score some points, but Alabama, I think, is gonna get out way ahead, and they're gonna dominate. And it's because Oklahoma has not impressed me at all as far as their defense.
Well,
I've not seen much of Notre Dame, I'll admit. Do they belong? I mean, I think Clemson is a tall task for them.
Right.
Well, I think that's just Notre Dame plays everybody in the ACC except Clemson. They're really an ACC team, but they don't share any money, and they play select teams they can beat in the ACC.
Well, we got a prediction from Mr. Jason Hicks, who
what did he say?
He says Oklahoma will beat Alabama.
What? You got money?
Oh, wow.
I got one question.
Is that a hot take?
If he put money on it.
But here you go.
Because that walks. Everything else runs the marathon.
He says Notre Dame. He says they are bums, but it's a little history with him now.
Rookie quarterback for Clemson, freshman quarterback.
Jason has some history. He played football at the U.
Which
he'll be down on the show. I got you. You on your way, brother. You on your way.
He got stories.
Right. So I can understand why you think that Notre Dame are bums. We remember the Catholic versus convicts. You were a part of that. So we'll share that story.
That Cleveland Gary fumble wasn't a fumble.
Yeah, we'll share that story with you when you come down, brother.
Definitely talk that talk. Definitely.
Oklahoma 38, Alabama 17. Jason says.
Wow. Okay. As he put money, okay.
So, Clemson, the thing with Clemson is, like you said, they got the freshman quarterback, and I don't know, with this long layoff, Clemson, they've proven to be perennial in this playoff thing since.
And they lost a defensive player too to
and they lost one of their top players to some nonsense. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
might be unfocused.
You know, so I could see them getting clipped. You know, it wouldn't surprise me either way. What would surprise me if Alabama doesn't win the whole thing, that would surprise me, because they've shown now that either one of these quarterbacks that they have can make plays. So if one guy goes down, the other guy can step in.
That fake punt though. But Georgia.
Yeah.
Is that where you go back to?
Oh, geez.
Is that where you go back to?
Kirby not so smart.
Right.
Well, you figure that just kept Georgia out, because Alabama still would have got it.
Yeah.
Georgia
Unbelievable,
game,
man.
so,
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's a great story.
Stunning.
But getting back, and I wanted to jump in this real quick, and we had this discussion before. The other bowl games, it's so many bowls, enormous amount of bowls. And there's been a lot of pro potential players saying, hey, I'm going to take a pass on this. I'm not going to play in this bowl game. I'm going to go get myself ready for the NFL Combine. The juice is not worth the squeeze. To get an injury. I hope my team will understand this. I mean, I ride and die with you, but we go to college to better ourselves, to put ourselves in a better position, socially, economically. And my decision is, this is a business. And bypass this bowl, meaningless. It doesn't really mean anything. So what do you guys think about that? It's been a lot of talk both ways. And a lot of things are, in both sides of the argument, like your team, you're committed. Also, people say, hey, coaches leave. Like when you at Toledo and now Ohio State wants you, I'm not going to be in the Independence weed whacker bowl. Look, guys, I gotta get my crew and I gotta go. Gotta bounce. Peace, love you. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that?
I agree with it 100%. I mean, even and this is just me personally speaking. If it's me or my son was on one of these 4 teams that's playing in the national championship playoffs, we sitting down. I'm sitting down. I mean, you figure look at the guy from Clemson we just spoke about, one of their top D linemen, right? He's not playing because he did something dumb, right? So what's the difference?
Yeah.
So he's not going to play. He's probably still going to go to the league.
Yeah, he's going to
what's
league.
the difference if he just said, you know what? I ain't playing. The hell with this national championship, this playoff game. I'm trying to. If I get hurt in this game and we still win the national championship, what's that ring going to do for me?
Oh yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I agree with 1,000%, man. If you got an opportunity to go in the draft and you're graded out as a high pick, man, God bless you, man.
I asked the one question, and this goes for moms, this goes for dads, this goes for everybody. All right, your son is potentially worth $20 million. All right, or do you want him to continue going to school or playing in his game when he's worth that amount of money? I think that you are going to say no, especially when this money is guaranteed, right? Why would you want to risk putting your son out there for this one game, right? Which coaches, the ADs, the university period would understand that, because this is not the time when we were in college. This is officially a business. It always was, but it's officially a business.
Everybody can see
it. Yeah, everybody can see it.
Yeah.
So why would you
not only
risk
not
any
only
of that?
Right? You've seen in the last few years instances of guys that were high dollar picks. Jalen Smith. The kid, who was the kid from Michigan? Jake Butt, the tight end.
Yeah.
You know, these guys were first round pick, and they got injured in a meaningless bowl game.
Yeah.
And like I said, even if it's not a meaningless game, it's meaningless in the grand scheme of things.
Running back from Miami that year.
Yeah.
Right, Willis McGahee.
McGahee.
If I'm playing, if it's my future and that's my livelihood and my life, and I can change my whole family's trajectory, right?
Grandkids, great grandkids.
Is it better for me as Jalen Smith to go play, even if he was on this Notre Dame team right here? Is it better for me to go play in this playoff and potentially risk getting hurt, or sitting out?
Right. Unless they provide me with an insurance that's on the university,
changes everything. Changes everything.
But don't these guys get insurance? I mean, I mean, isn't a prudent business decision? I mean, I've heard of this. I mean, people go out and get it on their own.
How much you
and get it?
Lords of London.
I've come full circle on this topic, I think. I used to be, no way, how could you abandon your team? It should mean more to you than what could happen at the next level. However, as the stakes become higher, and I've kind of thought about, look at coaches that leave. Temple's coach leave, he leaves and leaves them kind of high and dry for the bowl game or whatever, and it happens all the time. And so as I've sort of studied it more, I'm more pro player now. I think everyone makes their own personal decision, but you sit down with your people, your parents, your business people, whatever, and you make the decision that you think is best for you. And I'm not gonna knock a guy who says, I'm gonna forego this bowl game. But at the same time, I'm not gonna knock a guy that says, "Oh yeah, I'm playing." I'm riding with my guys. So I've become more pro player. I wouldn't blame a guy because the stakes are so high now in terms of what could be or what could happen. If how much you put at risk if you do get injured. It's so much more now because the dollars we're talking are so huge. So I can appreciate a guy stepping down.
I figure even nowadays, somebody say technology and these guys recover from these injuries and things like that, but everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't.
True.
It was no guarantee that Jalen Smith was going to recover from torn
bowl game
knee ligaments and nerve damage.
And Dallas picked him up when did Dallas pick him up? Second round.
And the dollars that he missed, the dollars he missed from the second round to the top 5 pick. You'll never get those back.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Never.
Like he's looking like his trajectory is he's going to go and get a nice contract eventually. But those initial dollars, you'll never get those back.
So like you said, if he had an insurance policy,
maybe
you get that. You get that back. But what if you have the insurance policy now? That'll from what I understand, that pays your draft, the difference in your draft stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't pay the difference if you never play again.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Endorsements.
You gotta pay it. You gotta pay it back too, because you don't have no money.
Right.
So
So
somebody
it's like,
paid for you to get the policy, and I couldn't imagine the premium.
I'm sorry, coach. I'm not playing.
But we at the end of the day, right? This is a institution of excellence, right? They say academic excellence. You're a student athlete. This is why we go to college, right? To advance economically.
Yep,
And
socially,
this is why we're here, right? This is so. Hey, listen, where are you going to get $20 million
And even
right out of college?
We're looking at it on that spectrum, right? But what about the guy who's graded as a 3rd round pick, Michael Gallup, a 3rd round pick? He gets injured in a meaningless bowl game. Now he's undrafted.
Yeah.
Right.
How much money? Do
Absolutely.
he lose?
Now I got to go back home. Right, and get myself all the way back together,
and then try to make a team,
Yeah.
and then try to get invited, and then how much money does that guy lose, right? So it's like,
or even deeper, right? You say he gets hurt at school, he's a senior, right? Now I need rehab around the clock.
Yeah.
Am I still going to the university to get that, or am I going back home trying to work at the grocery store just to get benefits to get rehab on my knee or something?
I mean, like I said, I'm not playing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy, and it's understandable because it's a business, man. It's $1 billion. I mean, $1 billion. You'll see everything around these 2 games today: the music, the events, the pageantry, all that stuff.
Right.
All the revenue being generated, and hey, and you gotta look out for self. I mean, that's the number one thing. Take care of yourself, and I have no problems with anybody. I'm always a team player, rah, spirit, and everything like that. But you walk into a situation where it's as EPM would say, strictly business.
Strictly business.
That's basically what it is. Let's jump into the NBA real quick. Hitting up with the season, almost getting to the halfway mark. LeBron had a little groin injury, hamstring. Is he hitting the wall now? Is something where he's got to tone it back? And all those years of playing, he's finally getting a little nick. With LeBron and what to make of the Lakers beating Golden State. What do you think?
I think LeBron's track record is that he's not an injured guy.
Yeah.
Like I think he'll recoup from this. I think they'll be smart about it. He knows when it's money time, and it's no need to risk anything right now. Them beating Golden State, tremendous win for the Lakers. It meant a lot more to the Lakers than it does the Golden State. What is it going to mean in the long scheme of in the grand scheme of things? I don't think very much. I don't think. And I think LeBron sort of knows it. But I think his young guys would get more out of it, and he can use this to say, hey guys, look, we can play with these guys. When LeBron knows that. No, it's gonna what we look like right now in December, January is not gonna matter. It's how we
maybe
play.
different players,
It's how we're playing as a team, as a unit, how we come together as a unit in April and May. That's what's gonna matter, and it still might not matter. I mean, we could be the best version of ourselves in April and May, and that's all we can strive to do. And it still might not be good enough to beat this team.
Right.
Yeah.
So LeBron will be fine. The Lakers they're doing better right now than I thought they would. They will maybe be top 4, maybe 4 or 5 seed, maybe even higher. I mean, I think they may be higher right now. But I think Golden State is still the team to beat. I don't think there's any question about that.
I agree. I think that this is more so the Lakers and LeBron saying, you know what, we won other night. We're gonna hopefully keep winning, and if we can win without you, then you can finish resting.
Which they haven't.
Right, and we know that February is the deadline.
Yes.
I think the Lakers are going to make a move. So this is a good time. Sometimes when people get hurt, what you do is you find out. Excuse me. You get a chance to find out what you got. And I think this is a time to do that for the Lakers. Okay, you get to see these young guys who are the keepers. Because from what I'm hearing, Anthony Davis is he's on his way over there. And last I checked,
that's where the big men go.
That's where the big men go.
Shaq.
And last I checked, he's not just going to walk through your doors. You're gonna have to give up something. So something has to be attractive enough for New Orleans to give him up. So this is the time where it's a showcase. Get your ball on, because potentially you are going to get shipped out.
Then you got to work on your own max deal.
So I think this is a good thing for the Lakers. It's not a good thing for LeBron to be hurt, but like Dre spoke about, LeBron's one of the guys since day one. I mean, in terms of the body, he's there's no off season with the body. He's eating right. He's working out. He's doing everything he's supposed to do to keep that body right. So I wouldn't worry about, the fact that he's hurting now. I think it's just temporary, and it's just rest time. Let's find out what we got.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I feel. The other topic that's, Sixers Nation, the thing that we all talk about, and this Ben Simmons. And the shot. Like
Maurice Whitfield, you listening?
The game Christmas Day against the Celtics, it's to the point where I think I had posted something on Facebook. I mean, 14, 12, and 11 is good, but until it's 20 and 10, 11, maybe 7, and 75% from the free throw line, it's going to be difficult for this team to compete and beat the upper echelon teams with your point guard, one of your best players. That you got to be able to want contact. You got to be able to get the calls at home and go to the line and kill them. That's where you make your money. From the foul line. I ain't even talking about jump shot yet. I'm just talking about going to the hole, drawing fouls, just so I can go to the free throw line and knock down 2 in crunch time to stop a run, to slow the game down. And we thought he would come back a little bit more and shoot a little bit more this year, but he hasn't shot at all. Dre, you basketball coach, what's up? It's just something that's just not in him to shoot.
It's baffling to me. I've never seen anything like it. It causes a quandary amongst the fans, I think, because we like Ben Simmons. We think he's a generational talent. We see him being here. We hope that he stays for many, many years. But we put up with this last year, and we're thinking, all season he'll come back. He's working on jump shot, but he's saying he's working on his jump shot. Well, he'll come back, and we'll see the improvement. To see no improvement in that aspect of his game, which I will argue that means you have seen no improvement in any his game as a whole at all. Right. I think it's the same game we've seen last year. Is stunning to me.
You said one of the Kardashians had something to do with it.
That's the rumor. That's neither here nor there. But it's amazing to me that we've seen no growth in that area, and then we sort of kind of put it on the back burner, and then you have these marquee games that come up, and and there'll be probably about 7 or 8 more of these games, and we're going to want to see something from our big star, and it all kind of evolves around the lack of a jump shot, the thing that's kind of like you said, Sunni, that's simmering underneath is the poor foul shooting. You mean to tell me you're not going to make a jump shot, but then you're going to be kind of tentative going to the hole as well because you don't want to get fouled in crunch time. Now you're taking the problem up another notch, and in the big games and in the playoffs. That is going to be a problem. So
yes.
It's baffling to me. I can't, does Brett Brown step in and say, hey, next time you pass up an open 15-footer, you're sitting on the bench, do you go that far? I think we're starting to get to that point. But is Brett Brown going to do it? Do you have to sort of coddle your stars a little these days? And, you can't be totally dismissive about the fact that he's going to have an opt-out, not next year, but the year after. And then what is his mindset going to be if you don't treat him right? So it's baffling to me. I'm kind of, I'm puzzled by it, but it is a problem. And the fact that he's not improved at all is going to find, this team is unfortunately looking like it's going to land in the same spot it did last year, and that's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think to that opt out. You know what I mean? Take your non-shooting self.
Oh no, I'm not ready to do that. I don't want to do that.
I'm talking about Philly fan. If we see this, if you say not next year but the year after, so that would mean it would be 4 years now where he hasn't developed a jump shot and still is unwilling to take a shot. So how many years are we gonna sit and watch a guy not shoot? Forget about can't shoot. It's just unwilling to shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got a
guy
under the backboard that kills the glass. Maybe if you shoot some, he can get an offensive rebound and get easier point. You know what I mean? Without having to bang. But
because what's the alternative? A lot of times, it's a turnover.
Right.
There's no mistake that the other day, he had 7 turnovers. And how many of those could have just been shots? Right. You know what I mean? And then maybe you even get a chance
3 offensive rebounds.
Right. Exactly. Or hey, how about you make one?
Yeah. He went to the basket on a fast break, and it was Horford under there, and he threw up the weakest layup.
I was about to go to that.
He didn't want the contact.
That's where I was going.
He didn't want the. Oh man, it's like it's.
I see you get the ball,
man.
right? I saw you get the ball off the long rebound, and I'm falling in love with you dribbling because you're 6'10" and you pushing, you rolling past everybody.
That's supposed to be
then
a bucket.
You go to the right, you jump off the wrong foot and shoot a half hook, something.
If he's 5'11".
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the ball
bounced.
Same
thing, Doug.
The ball bounced off the backboard and went. And I said, "Whoa, wait a second!
What did I just
I
see
said,
here?
Deeper issues here.
Yes,
it looked like a little kid just learning to make a shoot a left hand layup.
That's not
right?
professional. That's not professional.
It's not professional. I like that.
Nah, that's not professional stuff.
And even like you said, it's baffling to you that he had these issues and he didn't come back, and his game looks exactly the same. It's been baffling to me that you've been a basketball player. It's been known since you were in middle school. Your parents sent you to the United States because you were going to be a basketball player. It's baffling to me how you were going to be a basketball player and you cannot shoot. How
in this era, everybody's shooting these days.
To me, it's that you don't want to more than anything. Like I don't see you even attempt.
It's your
when I see that,
scared to
think
show
about
weakness.
it though. Think about that. That's like a race car driver that's scared to go fast, or a doctor that can't stand the sight of blood or something. Like how can you be a basketball player and not shoot? That's the first thing that you do.
And then one of the
That's
schools
the only
of thought,
thing that non-basketball players like myself can do is shoot.
You can shoot, and you will shoot an open jump shot.
Yeah.
Let him give it to you open. You were going to shoot it.
Man. Yeah, you know, Dre McCumsey, I'm in the corner. I'm away from the athletes.
I'm just sitting there waiting.
And I'll shoot that 20, like, shoot, yeah, nah, like, this is me. Like, 22, that's where I got to work at. I mean, I can shoot. I'm not a baller, but I can shoot.
And one of the schools of thought is, you know, put him at a different position. Maybe at
Chris was talking about document the 4.
Yeah, but you know, now you think about it. What does our 4s do? Our 4s shoot the ball.
If you put him
know what I
at
mean?
the 4,
our center, our 5 shoots the ball.
Well,
everybody shoots the
right.
open shot. The offense is designed around. If somebody passes up the open shot, the offense bogs down. That's just the way this offense is designed. That's the way the NBA is designed. And this player that controls the ball so much that doesn't shoot, I think is really limiting himself and the team. And it magnifies every
right.
you know, in about another 8 more times, the Boston, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Raptors, you know, when we play Indiana, when we play some of these, you know, these West Coast teams, you know, it's gonna magnify itself, these big games, and you're gonna look at them and say that's gonna cost you these
I look
games.
at it like as guys like us, and I like to say, if we know, they knew a long time ago. As far as him can't shoot, and looking at scouting reports and watching television, man, I'm watching guys stay inside the paint where you at the top of the key, and you are looking to pass the ball. I was like, oh my God!
And all the passing lanes are
now
cut
that
off
defensive team that wasn't a defensive team is looking like they got great defense because they don't want to play you.
And that's where all the turnovers come from.
Yeah, where everything gets bogged down.
Vicious.
I mean, that's just it's going to be interesting to see because you're not at one point you're not going to move forward. I mean, at one point it's going to be very tough to move forward with him, you know, playing that type of ball. You can't be a point guard and can't shoot 75% from the free throw line. Well, in the 70s at least, and you got to want contact. You got to want contact.
At 6'10".
At 6'10". Like, it's crazy.
Well, he's
like,
probably,
you got to want that.
He's really a 6'3" guy.
Yeah.
So you know what the 4s will do to him down low. They be looking over here like the play could have been ran to go someplace else, but once you find him under the basket sticking a 4, up, play goes out the window. Dump that thing down here.
Not so much anymore. You don't got guys built like that these days. Like these guys won't take you in the weight room, and they won't, and it won't be a clear advantage. I mean, the guy is 6'10". You know what I mean? It won't be a clear advantage. You know, so and offenses are just not designed like that. So I'm not really concerned about that. I'm concerned more so about him being controlling the ball so much and not showing any growth in his game whatsoever.
Well, on a happy note, he did make it 2 jumpers, and I guess in the last 2 games.
He did. Yes, he did.
One the last game and
one was at the clock. He had to shoot. He had no choice.
So that's he only shot 1 then, basically.
Right, and it looks so painful. It looks so painful. It's like he doesn't doesn't want to do it. He's fading away. He's about to hit the ground, and then he launched. I'm like, dude, like. So it puts us in a tough spot. The fact that a guy that's so, you know, prominent on your team, he hasn't grown, and you know we're going to struggle.
And the other guy has a bad shoulder.
No, well, geez.
It's tough too because everybody can see if this guy just had a 15-foot jump shot, man, this team would be so much better.
Oh yeah,
this team would be like they would be a contender, a real contender.
Yeah,
you got an extra score is always good. Keep people honest. You know, you got to keep people honest.
Somebody had to come up and just you could go by them and score, man. That's definitely this. But yo, fellas, I just want to wish everybody happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Coming in next time we get back is always, you know, great time here at Sports Talk, live for the culture, live for the ranch. See how it unfolds next week. Be talking about some playoffs. Playoffs.
Yes, playoffs.
Well, playoffs. You know, next week.
Happy New Year, folks.
See the schedule. Happy New Year and everything. Yo, guys, thanks. And we'll be back next week, 2019. Sports Talk Live for the culture. We're going to be around. Check us out.
Peace.